What do you think, because there's been a lot of bouncing around, I think even Doogie, our crack staff producer, threw out a poll, what should happen? Cheer or boo? I think it's going to be a lot of boos. I just based that on what happened in Vegas.
Yeah, I think it should be boos. It's entertainment. Like, it's way more fun. Why wouldn't there be boos? Like, everyone's, there's this big referendum like, but what about the person? Mitch is a professional athlete. This is not a personal attack on Mitch Marner, the person.
It's a sports figure coming back to a town.
He left. He wanted to leave. There's a report that came out yesterday that would indicate 2 years ago the guy was basically thinking, I might be out of here, right? There's more and more details about whether or not he was willing to take a trade before the trade deadline, right? And waiving or not waiving. And why would you not? If you have tickets to the game, isn't it more fun? Isn't it more entertaining if it's just an electric atmosphere?
I don't know. I don't.
Of course you don't, because you guys are too cool. I get it. You guys played.
Too cool,
you guys are too cool. You guys played the game. I get it.
I've never gone to a sporting event and booed or cheered.
Because you're too cool, because you guys are athletes.
Not because I'm too cool.
You're both too cool. I get it.
I think it's lunacy, but
no,
I mean,
it's not
I understand
lunacy.
it. I understand it.
No, you don't. Clearly you don't. You're saying your initial reaction was, I don't know. So what would you expect? What would you want? A cheer, standing ovation?
Let me finish. Here's what I think is going to happen. He's going to get booed every time he touches the puck. And I've had plenty of players. I played with Chris Pronger. We nicknamed him Boo. Mitch Marner is the villain tonight. I have no problem with it. I do believe one thing. In the tribute video, maybe there should be some claps because he did give you 9 years. So you can boo every other time, but do you believe there'll be a tribute in the tribute video?
Who the hell can turn the switch off like that? Like
lunatics.
Vitriol and hatred and booing, and then all of a sudden it's like, hang on a sec, for 5 minutes here, I'm going to just clap and be cordial, and then as soon as that video's over, I'm going to start booing again. Honestly, as nice as people from Canada are, Toronto, I don't think that's going to happen. I don't think it's possible to do that.
I've talked to a few Leaf fans that have said exactly that. Literally, said exactly that. I am going to boo the hell out of him for the whole game, but during the video, that's why I brought that point up. Is that not?
Well, I hear what you're saying. I take some issue with, like, he gave 9 years. He didn't go to prison for 9 years. The guy was a Leaf. Right. He lived out a childhood dream, and he got paid an exorbitant amount of money. Right? He didn't give. He worked hard. He was a really good Leaf. Like, he was a really good player.
He played for the team.
He played for the team, exactly. He wasn't forced into being a Maple Leaf for 9 years.
Listen, it was a childhood dream, and he played very well, for the team for 9 years. So I think there is probably some people in the fan base. Again, I'm not speaking for myself because I don't fall into that bucket, but I do believe there are people that will cheer him during that tribute, and I think they will boo the hell out of him the rest. And again, I played on teams. We witnessed it with John Tavares going back to New York. The vitriol. I think there will be vitriol there tonight, and I have no problem with it. I can't speak to it personally, Brian.
I understand
that.
I
told him yesterday I've never booed at a sporting event, and he said I'm too cool.
I'm not too cool.
I know you guys.
I've never done it.
But I've known you guys for a long time. You see it through the lens of the player, as you should. I don't dispute that. Right. You had the experience of being in the league. You were in the room when there were 20,000 people going crazy. I get where your viewpoint is. You can be in the room. Like, you guys can speak to it, and you look at it from a different angle. So I guess what I'm saying is, I'm laying it on thick. You guys are too cool. My point is, I get why you two individually with your life experience wouldn't be in there starting the chants. But like I'm saying, the 19,000 people.
Let me ask you, as a former OHLer and now broadcaster, if you went to the game, whatever your personal feelings are, would you boo or cheer? The answer is no.
Well, I'm in a bit of a different place now because of what I do for a living, and I might be in the press box. I'm not going to be booing up there.
I get it, Brian. But you have personal feelings that are different than when you go home and you're normal Bryan Hayes.
Yes.
If your feelings were vitriol towards Mitch Marner in hatred, and you're like, man, I really can't stand this guy, would you go in that building and stand up and go,
Yeah, yeah, sure I would. Sure, but here's what I guess what I'm driving at is I guess what I'm trying to point out the entertainment value of the experience tonight.
Heel. He's the heel.
Yeah, I think it would actually be a lot of fun. Like it's a memorable moment. Like if everyone's on it, it's not that again. It's not real hatred. It's sports hate. It's not real.
That's a great term. It's sports hate.
It's sports hate.
You were on our team, and you decided to not be on our team anymore, and there's a bunch of other things that you did in the middle of it that piss people off. And the one thing that kind of surprised me, I think we're talking about the same report,
yes.
Brian.
Elliot Friedman wrote something yesterday. Might as well just allude to it.
That's right. It's like the entry-level signing bonus is still kind of putting a burr in his saddle. It's like, what?
Yeah, I think that and the fact that his agent reportedly said, well, we might be willing to look at a trade to the West, then that would indicate it wasn't about his personal life. It wasn't about, well, I can't leave because I have to be here. It was, I'll leave if I go somewhere I want to go, which spices up the Rantanen deal that much more for people. We're like, wait a minute, really? Like so you were willing to go, but only if it was somewhere specific.
Not Carolina.
Yes, exactly, not Carolina. But it also puts a little bit of heat on the Leaf, front office that you couldn't find a deal with someone in the West. It was only Rantanen, and then it opens up the whole conversation. Would it have made sense? They were going to win the division. They ended up beating Ottawa. They were in Game 7 of the second round. It was a complicated deal to make because of the significance of it all and the cap and, who he is and what he was, what role he played on the team. He was phenomenal during the season last year.
Well, the only time to move him was the summer before that, before his no-trade clause kicked in.
Ultimately, that's
and they decided
the
not to, and that's why they were in that position.
Yes. I would love a truth serum bullet on that one to say who made the decision, because I guarantee you would have had those conversations to go, this guy's no-trade is kicking in. We do have a window here. Are we keeping him and chancing that he's going to leave? Or are we going to look at exploring options to moving away from the player just based on what could potentially happen? Now, Brad Treliving, I believe, was, a month on the job before? When did Treliving join?
It was a quick turnaround before the no movement kicked in.
But somebody said, whether it was Treliving or it was Shanahan or whatever, somebody said, no, we're keeping the band together. And they kept the band together. And does this not remind you of the Tavares thing, looking back on it? Like Tavares was interviewed the whole year that year.
And he just said the same, but he was saying the same thing. Like, this is where I want to be. This is where I want us to. This is business. This is between my agent and the GM.
Yep. And then he's wearing pajamas, in a picture. Yeah. So I that's what I thought about today. And Brian, it's funny because I wanted your opinion on it because you're right. We all three of us have differing opinions on it. New York is can be cutthroat.
Yes.
And we saw the treatment that John Tavares got.
Yes.
The first time
that was extreme.
I thought it was very extreme.
That was extreme reaction.
Right. So where do you think tonight would fall? Like 60% of that, 50% of that?
Yeah, I don't think it's going to be nearly as crazy at all. I mean, it's just a different crowd. It's a different city. Marner, it's a bit of a different story because, a hometown and all that kind of stuff. And the belief was also when John left, like, he left them in the dust. Like the Islanders weren't that good. Right? And it was like, this is our guy, this is our captain, first overall pick. The whole marketing campaign revolves around him and see you later. Marner, he rolls through town when they're 3 points out of the playoffs, right? So those arguing they can't do it without him, are probably emboldened today.